It's been a busy offseason for the Detroit Lions. Hello and welcome to the Road to Kickoff. I'm your host, Tori Petry. From Wi-Fi to the uniforms the team will wear and new food offerings to the giant video boards above us, the Lions and Ford Field have gone through a lot of changes since the start of 2017. We're now on the precipice of a new football season and anticipation is high. The Lions have taken a very fan-focused route this year to get here. When you take a look around the newly renovated stadium, it's clear there's just as much to look forward to with the fan experience as there is on the field. I went through an exclusive walk through Ford Field with Lions team president Rod Wood to talk to him about the organization's motivation behind the offseason overhaul. Rod, at what point did you feel like it was time to start making all these organizational changes you did this offseason?
Probably not long after I was in this job, to be honest with you. I mean, there were a lot of things that I was thinking about, pretty soon after I was in the position. Getting to know the organization and the different people that were working here and trying to get their ideas that they've been working on for a while, and then trying to figure out in what order do we do things and what can we afford to do and how much time is it going to take. And so it wasn't long after I started.
Right,
actually.
So then how do you decide where to start with the changes that you do want to make?
Well, one of the first things we did was the uniforms. And what really kind of kick-started that was the Color Rush uniform from last year, which we didn't have to wear, but it would have been all black, and that's not a secret now. I think people have seen that on the internet. And then talking to the family about that and just the uniforms in general led to a whole redesign. We did some work internally and had some discussions, and then we brought in the NFL and their branding folks, and Nike was very involved. And we gave them ideas of what we wanted, and then they brought back creative alternatives for us to look at. And the NFL was very involved and supportive of the branding and the lettering changes. And so it was a collaborative effort. We really rushed to get it done so that we would have them for this season, because it takes a long time, obviously, to change your uniform. And we really rushed it into a very condensed period of time to get it done. That was the first thing, and then that kind of fed into looking at some of the fan feedback from fan surveys about things like the Wi-Fi and adding cheerleaders, which we did last year, and then getting into some of the things that we've done in the stadium. So it's kind of like a natural progression, but a lot happening at the same time.
What did you want to accomplish with the changes that you made in the logo and the branding?
Well, I wanted to do a couple things. One, freshen and modernize the look and the brand, and also, really get back to our historical colors and reintroduce a throwback uniform, which we've not worn in a long time, and use the most modern and highest tech fabrics that were available. So we're one of the first teams in the NFL, given this redesign of the uniform, that has the highest tech uniforms throughout our entire collection. I know the players like that. They like the look and the feel, but they also like the way it feels when they're wearing it. So all of that kind of led to where we ended up. And as I said, it's hard to remember kind of the versions that we looked at early on, but I'm really happy with the one that we ended up with. And it was one of several that were kind of, under consideration, but I think we made the right choice.
The renovations were obviously a huge part of the changes that you guys made. And you've said that other teams took years to do the things you guys did in one off season. Why was it important to finish it so quickly?
Well, I wanted, if we could, to get it all done in 1 year so that we didn't have multiple seasons of construction, which is really hard on a lot of people. And we also had to shut down the stadium for the whole summer, which meant we had no shows, no concerts. And if we did construction over 2 years, we were going to deal with that twice, which I really wanted to avoid if we could. And I wanted to get as much of it done so there weren't some fans enjoying new parts of the stadium and other fans waiting a year for the parts that they're enjoying to be done. So it was important to try and get it all done, and thankfully we did. We're in one of the new clubs right now.
What was your overall goal of what you wanted to accomplish with the renovations?
Well, we want to do a lot of things. Update the technology in the building, including the Wi-Fi, the video boards, the sound system, and then really bring a lot of Lions branding into the stadium. If you walked around Ford Field before, I think it was a great stadium, but you didn't always know you were at a Lions game. And so as you look around, there's going to be a lot of our colors dominating not only the walls, but the furniture, the floor, Lions logos everywhere. And so I think people will know they're at a Lions game, which is one of the things I want to do. And brighten everything up. It was a very kind of dark feel before, and where we're at right now is one of the places that we redecorated and added a lot of light, natural light now from these skylights. So all those things were accomplished, I think.
It looks completely different.
It does, it does. I'm really proud of it.
If you had to classify a motivation behind all of these changes this year, what would you say that would be?
I wanted to have a place that fans were going to be excited to come and continue to come back to, and feel like they're at a place that is their home team's stadium, and where they're technologically connected and as current as they can be, and create a great home field advantage for our football team.
How does this relate back to what you guys are doing on the field?
Well, I think the whole organization, I think, is focused on being a winning organization, top to bottom. What we do here for the fans, and what Bob and his team are doing with the players, and what Jim's doing in coaching them. And I think it does feed on itself. The players appreciate these kind of investments, even though it doesn't as directly affect them as it does the fans. But I know a lot of them are looking forward to seeing themselves up on this big video board, either scoring touchdowns or making great plays. And they love the feeling of an organization that's putting money back into the organization to help them win and to help the fans enjoy themselves, and, as I said, create this great home field advantage that Ford Field is.
Some of these may seem like small changes, but they make a big impact on the fan experience. Take these new speakers in the ceiling, for example. It may not look much different than what used to be here, but it's a big part of a better game day. Coming up, we'll show you some other off-season changes that you'll notice pretty quickly on game day. Welcome back to the Road to Kickoff. We've been taking a look at a lot of the changes the Lions have made off the field this offseason, but there's actually one they began implementing before the last season even ended. One of the most common requests from Lions fans was the need for better Wi-Fi on game days, and the Lions listened. Now you can tweet, Instagram, and check your fantasy team all you want, thanks to all new wireless internet systems installed in the handrails at the stadium.
For people who have been here before, been a little bit frustrated with the fact that they may have seen a spinning wheels, haven't been able to post as quickly as they'd liked, this is the year for you.
The Wi-Fi of the past used to only be able to handle roughly around 500 seats. A seating section between the two handrails was roughly about 943 seats. In the past, we had basically 2 access points accessing those, let's say, 1,000 users. Today, we now have 8 access points accessing 943 seats or 1,000 seats. So it's a significant increase in capacity.
Verizon officials demonstrated the speed test on the wireless internet, but access will be available to fans no matter what carrier they're on. And the Wi-Fi isn't the only technology getting an upgrade. Verizon is also building out the number of network access points in the stadium so fans can have better cell reception at games. They're working through negotiations for other cell carriers to join in, so once again, it won't be limited to Verizon phones. This system is an upgrade from the last system installed in 2004 for the Super Bowl that was held at Ford Field.
That's before 4G. That's when we had flip phones that maybe we took a quick picture and text messaged it over. That was an experience of 2004. Today's fans, they want to be able to Snapchat, they want to Facebook Live, they want to Instagram, they want to be browsing the web. It's going to provide quadrupled capacity, amazing coverage, and a really innovative solution bringing that technology to every seat in the house.
Our goal is to make the fan experience ubiquitous across any seat, regardless if they're in a lower cost seat or a higher cost seat. Fan access to the network should be equal for everybody.
We can be proud to say that this is one of the most advanced systems in the country, on par with Houston, which hosted the Super Bowl this year. So if you think about that, a lot of money, a lot of investment go into the Super Bowl stadium. Ford Field's right there with it.
When the offseason kicked off, it was time for the Lions to make some major changes. They started in January by announcing a facelift to their entire brand. New logos, new fonts, the whole 9 yards. The team removed the color black from their color scheme and went back to their roots with the original Honolulu blue and silver. These new marks would be heavily incorporated in the construction of the renovated stadium as the team worked to give Ford Field a distinct Lions-centric atmosphere. Then the makeover culminated in a new look for the players on the field. The Lions had long teased new uniforms, and in April they held the big reveal. They hosted an exclusive season ticket member event where a crowd of 3,000 Lions fans got to see 4 new uniforms unveiled for the very first time.
I think it was fun. I mean, this is another kind of reward for the season ticket holders to kind of get this first opportunity to see it, and you never can replicate how somebody reacts to it the first time. So it was nice standing up there and watching it, and I'm glad that people seem to be excited and cheering.
Oh, blown away! The fireworks and everything were awesome. My favorite was the gray. didn't disappoint at all. It seemed like some Universal Studios kind of stuff.
Hey, what a dream to work on your hometown team. Years later after even moving across country. It really kind of became enamored with the Lions back in the early 80s when Billy Sims got drafted to the team. And the first time I saw him with the Nike Turf Shoes poster with my favorite team, it was just, game over at that moment. I've been, hardcore, solid fan ever since.
What's reminiscent of Barry Sanders is the road jerseys had the blue pants again, and that's awesome. I'm very excited for that.
I mean, the video reaction that you saw was real. I was there when they were seeing him for the first time.
Oh, that's dope. That's dope, bro. Come on, give me that, give me that, give me that, give me that, give me that.
Growing up in Michigan and knowing what this place is about, what people stand for, it was really easy for me to find the same path that Rod was already presenting.
I'm in love because not only do we get to wear something new, but we all get to, walk into the locker room every Sunday and not expect the same traditional blue or white. We can mix and match now. We have different alternate colors. We finally bring back the throwback jerseys. We have a color rush jersey, so we're excited, man. It helps boost the morale in the locker room, When you walk in, you're not looking at the same thing. You're looking at something new.
Just the last couple years, they've only won the home and away, but now they got 2 other jerseys that they're going to be wearing. It's exciting to see.
I thought they were awesome, and I just love, they look more sleek, and I love the color rush jersey.
I mean, these things truly are the best uniform Nike's ever created.
I think we got the best uniforms in the National Football League.
You'll be able to see the throwback jersey on Thanksgiving and the color rush uniform when the Lions play on Saturday, December 16th against the Chicago Bears. Stick with us because up next we'll take you behind the scenes of the major changes that have happened right here at Ford Field and hear from the NFL Commissioner. Welcome back. If you've seen Ford Field at all this preseason, it's easy to notice how different it looks. It's possibly the biggest undertaking the Lions tackled this offseason. The team announced at an exclusive event in February that they'd be doing a $100 million renovation to Ford Field. This suite I'm in is completely redone, and there are so many new features like this one. Back in July, Rod Wood took the media on a tour of these major changes as the construction neared completion.
This is now going to be a really lively, happening area. And these suites are pretty close to being done. We're kind of getting ready to, do the final touches and furniture. All glass, so people will get to know each other. They'll come out here, they'll be, eating and drinking and then hopefully celebrating Lions wins together. We've caught up to even the newest stadiums now, especially with the video and the sound system we're going to have, the options for the different fan experiences. This is the national broadcast booth. And one of the other things that we did is we took down the wall and put in a glass backing where hopefully most of the broadcast teams will let us keep this down so that our fans that are up here can actually see in and watch the game being called. Here's where we took out some more suites that again open up the club out to the field. And this bar was so big it was actually fabricated off-site and then brought in here and installed. The video boards, the ribbon boards, the sound system, the Wi-Fi, those are all available for every fan. And that's where a big part of the investment went, was into those expenses. You guys on your Wi-Fi? Is it working?
Yeah.
Hopefully? Okay, good. You're tweeting, so it must be working. You guys are getting, obviously an advanced look. I think once it's done, it's going to be spectacular. I think the video boards and the ribbon boards are going to be the head of the stadium. I'm very excited for the fans to see it. I'm sure you guys are already tweeting it out, so they're getting a first-hand view. But very, very pleased. At the the top of the scale for all NFL stadiums. That's where we're going to try and be.
Of course, one of the highlights of the tour was the big reveal of the new video boards. Media members looked on as the new screens, super columns, and ribbon boards were all lit up for an audience for the first time.
Roughly 3 times the size of what our video boards were before, largest in the state, roughly double the size of Comerica Park, and more than triple, I think, the size of the new Little Caesars Arena video boards.
Well, it was nice. We got to hear a couple of oohs and ahs, and that's kind of what we're in the business for. Is we always say, we like to create the wow factor. To see it finally light up after years of working and discussing and talking and narrowing things down and getting great ideas out of everybody, it's really kind of tremendous to watch it finally come to fruition.
Well, it's kind of reaction to what the fans asked for. I mean, they want as many food and beverage options as we can provide them. Nice places to hang out. Part of the reason people come, I think, to the game versus staying at home is to be with other fans and giving them places where they can do that. I think it was important to them, so that's why we did some of those renovations.
Once the construction drew to a close, the Lions invited a special guest to see the renovations. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell toured Ford Field after the first preseason game to see all of the new changes. I caught up with the commissioner on his visit.
We've had a great visit with some of the football people, including your general manager and the ownership, and both Sheila and Mrs. Ford were here. And we had a good chance to look at the stadium and to see all the work that's been done in the off-season, which is really amazing. And I think the fans are going to love it. It's really added a great deal to the experience. I think the game day experience here is going to be great.
What have been your impressions of all the renovations that have happened around Ford Field? What stood out to you?
High quality, always adding to the fan experience. I think they took a lot of opportunities in the stadiums that were really undeveloped, and they converted that into a place where I think the fans are really going to have a unique experience when they're in those sections. So I think people will see a real difference here, and I think it'll add a great deal to the experience and, frankly, the excitement.
What does it say about an owner when they make an investment in their stadium like this?
That they're committed to the fans, that they're committed to providing that kind of experience for Lions fans, and also, I was struck a great deal about how the pride in this community. There are several areas where they talk about Detroit and their pride in their community, and I think that'll make people very proud and actually will add a great deal to the experience.
That pride for the city of Detroit is evident not just in the design of the renovations, but it's also a big part of the food story in the stadium as well, which might be my favorite part. Let's take a look at the stadium eats this year. The renovations at Ford Field provided the perfect backdrop for the team's annual food and beverage event. The Lions' new partnership with Miller Lite was highlighted at the stadium's first ever grab-and-go stop, The Cooler. Upstairs at the Corner Bar and Grill, stadium staples like Slo's Barbecue and newcomers like Hopcat showed off their mouth-watering menus. This is the Lions' wow item this year. It's a foot-long hot dog stuffed with 150-year anniversary Leinenkugel beer cheese and wrapped in a pretzel. That way you get your pretzel, hot dog, and beer all in one bite. And when you get one, you can post on social media with the hashtag LineyDog.
Miller Coors is a new partner for us here, and the Leinenkugel came to us and asked us to develop a recipe using the anniversary lager, so that's kind of what I did with that.
The highlight of these food offerings is the prevalence of local restaurants, especially in the renovated areas. Flowers of Vietnam is a popular recent addition to the Detroit food scene and to the all-new Comerica Gridiron Club.
Yeah, it was really nice. Like even our colors match the colors in the Gridiron Club, so it worked out perfectly. It's for sure a flex move. Personally, to be in hometown stadium. I couldn't say no.
I think that we have one of the best restaurant scenes in the Midwest, and we'd be remiss to not include that in the fan experience here at the stadium. To be able to bring them in for the fan experience here on a game day, so you don't have to go to that restaurant before or after the game. Now you can do it all during the game.
It's pretty genuine here in terms of who are the partners, the local partners, and I love it. I think it's great. I think it represents the city well. It is what the city is too,
You can try all of these new food and beverage items at the next Lions game. Coming up, we'll give you a window into how all of these off-season changes from uniforms to the new Ford Field renovations came together for their full debut when the Lions hosted the New York Jets. Stay with us. Well, the Lions had a lofty goal of completing all of these changes in just one off-season. And here we are. After all of that planning and preparation, execution, and long hours, they did it. The Lions completed this massive project that other NFL teams have taken years to accomplish in a mere 7 months. We checked in with Lions fans to see how they felt about the new look Lions at the new Ford Field's very first game.
I think it looks cool. The Miller Lite Lounge is really awesome. Definitely not what I expected at all. I love the lion symbols in the background, and obviously the view that you have of the entire field. I don't think you'll get that if you were in any other suite. You can see the entire thing and feel the energy of the crowd and everything. Doesn't matter where you are. You have screens in every which direction you go. so you don't feel like you're missing out on anything. Everything's like in your face right there.
Those big screens up there.
Oh, those suckers are big. Oh yeah, I've been watching TV more than a little bit.
No matter where you're sitting at in the arena, you know exactly what's going on.
Since I'm like drinking and eating, I'm like, okay, well, I'll just have a seat by the bar and I can watch the screen and still see.
We're over at the 40-yard line right now, right there 20 rows up. We have great seats, but at the same time, you'll still be looking up there because, hey, it looks so good up there on that big screen.
It's like you're at Cowboy Stadium or something. Those suckers are big.
I love the new look.
The Honolulu blue.
The new look is so amazing. It really brings some new atmosphere for everybody.
It seems like it's doing well for them right now. They're winning.
It's almost like a new team, a new vibe. It's really showing everybody like, hey, we're moving forward. No matter what the season looks like, we're moving forward.
You know, the outfit's doing it. We need to get them some more outfits.
To see how far it's come and like how like impressive and how much work they put into it, it's really awesome.
Great food, you know, great people. You know, it just adds so much more than just a football team. It really puts a culture on it. It's beautiful, even more than what I expected. I'm in the suite, so I get to enjoy the quality of the service, the view we have up here, you know, the comfortable seats. The suite area, I mean, they painted it, it's got all the history of the Lions, like all the history. I mean, you got the pictures and you got the dates, and you know, it just shows you how cool the organization is and you know how far they've come. Drinks, they come right as soon as you ask for them. The service is excellent. It shows they care. I mean, it shows that you know they want us as fans to, you know, be part of this team, not just be fans, but to be involved.
It really brings the community together. It really helps you out in the long run, and seeing that like the whole Lions organization is there for you, it just means that much more to the whole community and the city of Detroit.
Man, I wish I could bring more people here to experience it for themselves. Like I say, it's a dream. I just felt so, you know, accepted as a diehard Lions fan, and it's great. New look, new team, but it's still the same culture and the same team I fell in love with, you know, the day I was born. So I appreciate it and I love it. And I'm a Lions fan till I die.
Each and every facet of this offseason has been focused on improving the fan experience, ideally creating a rowdy environment for visiting teams, and strengthening the Detroit Lions brand identity. We titled this program The Road to Kickoff because the Lions believe each of these off-the-field pieces are bricks on the road to on-the-field success. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you on game day.